Welcome to the Madison Miller podcast. We have our horse racing analyst on because yet again it's another big horse racing weekend. It's the Belmont Stakes. Jeff Byrnes is here. How are you doing on this Friday afternoon?
Doing good, Madison. It's the Belmont Stakes, third final leg of the Triple Crown at Saratoga for the second year in a row, but still should be a great race.
Alrighty, it should be good, of course, and I am really looking forward to it. Let's get going. The first horse is Hill Road, currently 14-1. It was 10-1 on the morning line, so his odds went up. Chad Brown's the trainer. Tell us about Hill Road.
So Hill Road, here's a newcomer to the Triple Crown. This horse, actually, his background is pretty interesting. He started his career off in Europe, actually for a different trainer, Aiden Murphy in Europe. Won his career debut at Leopardstown on the turf over there. But he actually came over to the United States, and his third career start made his dirt debut at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, where he was a good third behind Citizen Bowl, where he was at long odds in that race. Now, he's been on the dirt ever since then. He was since transferred to trainer Chad Brown, who's had the horse since the Breeders' Cup. But this year, he's 1 for 2 this year. He had a third place finish in the Tampa Bay Derby. Was on the road to the Triple Crown. He was supposed to run on the Whip Memorial, but unfortunately got sick before the race and had to scratch. He had a little bit of time off. He came back on May 10th, where he won the mile and an eighth Peter Pan Stakes at Belmont at Aqueducts. But the Peter Pan is traditionally a turf race for the Belmont Stakes. Horses that have run well in the Peter Pan have a good history of running in the Belmont Stakes. So his pedigree screams a mile and a quarter. His sire, Quality Road, has sired many long-distance horses in the past. His dam sire is Lemon Drop Kid, who actually won the Belmont Stakes back in 1999. So, has a good pedigree. Mile and a quarter should be no problem for him. It does help that his jockey Irad Ortiz Jr. Is one of the best riders in the country. This is going to be one of these that come from behind horses, and his win in the Peter Pan was actually really good because he came over a speed-favoring racetrack when he was coming down the stretch and was really the only horse closing in that field. So he is going to need some pace to chase. The one post I don't think should be too problematic for him because he is one of these deep closers. My biggest concern for him, though, is that Saratoga traditionally can be a little speed favoring on some of these big racing days. So he's going to have to hope that the track doesn't work against him. Hill Road could be in for a chance against the Superfecta, though.
Alrighty, the two horse is Sovereignty, your winner from the Kentucky Derby. Opened up 2-1 on the morning line, now up to 7-2. Sovereignty, do you think Sovereignty has a good chance to do it again?
I think Sovereignty does have a very good chance to do it again. And I think the thing that also favors him is that there is some rain in the forecast, possibly for Saratoga on Saturday. So if it does in fact rain, I think it's a very big, that could definitely help Sovereignty in this race. He's obviously coming off of winning the Kentucky Derby. He did skip the Preakness Stakes. He came out of the race a little bit banged up, but his connections have said hopefully he could have run in the Preakness, but ultimately they thought best for him long term was to skip the race, even though I really kind of hope that he didn't run, which stinks he didn't run. But he is back here in the Belmont Stakes. He's been at Saratoga really since the couple days after the Kentucky Derby, and he's trained really, really well coming into this race. He's coming off of a sharp 48-4 half-mile workout back on June 1st. So he's primed. He's ready to go. Luckily for him, there is some more speed adding on to this race with the addition of Crudo, who we'll get into a little bit. Rodriguez, right to his outside, also has some speed. So he really hasn't run a bad race in his career. Obviously, the Kentucky Derby came from far back, in which he chased a pretty moderate pace, a pretty fast pace, but not too fast. So I think the pace, depending on how fast they go, could affect him. I mean, again, he is one of these deep closers. Saratoga could be is kind of traditionally a speed favoring track at times, so that could affect him. But overall, on class, he's definitely at the top amongst this group, along with journalism. So definitely, Sovereignty has a huge chance to run it back on Saturday.
All right, so the three horse Rodriguez, another horse we saw in the Derby, 7-1 right now, 6-1 on the morning line. This is Bob Baffert's horse. what chance do you give Rodriguez to win this race?
So Rodriguez was entered in the Kentucky Derby, but unfortunately he actually did have to scratch.
Oh, that's right.
Because of a foot problem, just a couple of days before the race. He was originally supposed to also point for the Preakness, but that same foot problem kept him out there as well. He has recovered from it and is now running in the Belmont Stakes. When you look at his chances, as long as his foot is okay, I think Rodriguez does have a big chance in here, because one of the reasons why is that this race doesn't really have a lot of pace in here, and Rodriguez is going to be the pace. He's winning the Wood Memorial last time out, back on April 5th, was really, really good. He went out, set some pretty first fractions, and pulled away from his competition late. Won that race going away by about 4 lengths. And he earned a 101 Beyer speed figure, which is among the fastest of the crop. And in a race where really isn't there a lot of pace line on, him and Crudo are really the only 2 horses that have really a lot of speed in this race. So if Rodriguez can get out there and set some slow to moderate fractions, I think he's got a big chance of running in here. And of course, you can never count out trainer Bob Baffert. I mean, anytime he sends a horse cross country from California to New York, he's always got a chance to win. So Mike Smith was born for the first time last time in the Wood Memorial, and he won that race extremely impressively. So you got a good jockey trainer combo. I think Rodriguez does have a chance in here. I do question though, that is he going to be good enough to beat horses like Sovereignty, Journalism, because those two have, Journalism has beaten Rodriguez pretty handily in the past before. So Rodriguez definitely is going to have to step up his competition. He is going to need the lead. If he doesn't get to the lead by the time he gets to the first turn, it could be trouble for him. So as long as he gets to the front, I think he could have a chance.
All right. Uncaged is the 4-horse 30-1, and the 23-1 was the morning line. This is Todd Pletcher's horse. What chance do you give Uncaged? 2-0 record, by the way.
So, Uncaged, here's the good news about Uncaged. He has a win at Saratoga, and if it does rain in the forecast, both of his wins have come on muddy racetracks. But that's just about all I got for you.
Right.
Uncaged, this horse his one stakes try was in the Peter Pan stake last time out, and he was a well-beaten 6th in that race. I mean, speed figure-wise, doesn't seem to really match up with this field. I mean, obviously, the rain on Saturday could benefit him in some way, maybe against the Superfecta. Does have a good jockey on Luis Saez aboard him. Todd Pletcher, 1 of 2 for him in this race. But it's going to be a massive upset if Uncaged wins on Saturday. I mean, probably does have the best pedigree to get the 1.25 miles. His sire Curlin is one of the best sires in Kentucky, really in the world right now, of long-distance horses. His dam sire, Pioneer Denial, was the sire of American Pharaoh, who won the Triple Crown. Fun fact, it was 10 years ago today that American Pharaoh won the Belmont Stakes and won the Triple Crown, so there's a little fun fact for you. But Uncaged, I really don't see it for him on Saturday. It's going to be a huge upset if he wins.
All right, but yeah, American Pharaoh 10 years ago, that's crazy. I remember where I was when that Triple Crown went down. So the 5-horse is Crudo, 13-1 right now. 15-1 was the morning line, so there's some action on Crudo. The trainer is Todd Pletcher, and what chance do you give Crudo?
So Crudo I think he is a pretty talented racehorse. This will be his 4th career start, and this will actually be the 2nd time he's run in the last 3 weeks. He ran on the Preakness undercard at Pimlico, where in his 2-turn debut he won the Sir Barton Stakes over some pretty good horses in that field. He went wire to wire in that race. So here's the other speed horse along with Rodriguez. So we could give Rodriguez a little bit of a hard time on the front end. He went to the front, set some crisp actions, and he pulled away from that field pretty impressively and came out of the race pretty well. His trainer, Todd Pletcher, was maybe leaning on the fence to running him to Belmont, wanted to see how he came out of the race, and he posted a pretty solid workout since then, including a 4-furlong work back on June 1st at Saratoga. And that was good enough to convince Todd Pletcher to run him in this Belmont Stakes. So pedigree-wise, his sire Justify, of course, 2018 Triple Crown winner, so should have no problem handling the distance. So I think this horse got a beautiful pedigree. It seems like he's been getting better with each and every start. now that he's going around 2 turns, I think could be his ball game. This could be a little too much too soon for him because of the quality of the field and the other horses in here. But I think he's definitely going to be a factor with the pace. It's going to be a question though if, like I said, it's too much too soon for him. And a celebrity, Chef Bobby Flay is the owner of this horse, so definitely wanted to run in this Belmont Stakes. So I think he could have a chance depending on the pace.
Okay, and then the 6 horse is Baeza. Is that how you pronounce it?
Baeza.
Baeza. Okay. 3-1 on the currently right now 3-1. Morning line was 4-1, so Baeza is getting some action. If I'm not mistaken, we did not see Baeza in any of the Derby or the Belmont, right?
So Baeza was originally was entered in the Kentucky Derby. He was pole position number 21. He did get a scratch in that race. I think Rodriguez coming out actually got Baeza into the field, and he ran into some really tough traffic, had some really bad traffic trouble in that race, but still managed to finish 3rd in the Kentucky Derby. So Baeza comes out of that race. He was really running on at the end, and nearly got journalism for 2nd in that race despite all the trouble he got into. But ran well over the sloppy racetrack, which could help him if it does come up sloppy on Saturday at Saratoga. Just trainer John Sheriff's is really not one of these trainers that ships his horses cross country. So the fact that he's sending Baeza to the Belmont, I think, speaks of a lot of confidence in him. He is going to be one of these mid-pack deep closers, but he does have a really good turn of foot. And his jockey is Flavian Pratt, who chose Baeza over Rodriguez. So I think that's a big confidence endorsement for him. The big story with Baeza is his mother is a mare by the name of Puka. And Baeza, which makes Baeza a half-sibling to 2023 Kentucky Derby winner Mage, and is also a half-sibling to last year's Belmont Stakes winner Dornoch.
Wow.
So if this horse wins the Belmont Stakes, this will be the 3rd year in a row that the broodmare Puka has sired a Triple Crown race winner, which has, I believe, never happened before in racing history. It's an unprecedented accomplishment. And for any broodmare to sire, forget it like a stakes winner, just to sire any winner in general is impressive. But to sire 3 Triple Crown race winners 3 years in a row is just insane. So, and I think Baeza has a really, really good shot of doing it too. He's a very talented racehorse. His Beyer numbers are right up there with Journalism and Sovereignty, and he was really finishing best of all in the Kentucky Derby. Now, it is a shorter field. He should get a better trip. Flavian Pratt, in my opinion, might be the best jockey in the country right now, so I think he knows what to do with him. I think Baeza has a huge shot on Saturday.
Okay, but yeah, I didn't even realize Baeza got into the Derby. I forgot Rodriguez scratched. Of course, Journalism's the favorite. 6-5 right now. 8-5 was the morning line odds for Journalism, who's in the 7th spot. Michael McCarthy's the trainer. What chance do you give Journalism to do it again?
Well, the thing is this: that the Preakness Stakes. I've seen a lot of races in my life, but that Preakness Stakes 3 weeks ago was probably one of the craziest races I've ever seen. For what Journalism did to squeeze through that tight hole, he was in a bumping match with goal-oriented and clever again, and so much was happening at the top of the stretch. It looked like 9 Gosper was gone, and Journalism was highly effective, but I mean, he ran right by Salmon to get back to 2nd place, and watching it, all right, he'll probably get 2nd, but he just kept coming, and he got to Gosper right at the wire. It was an unbelievable effort in that Preakness Stakes. I mean, that just shows you that this horse is extremely talented. He has so much heart and grit to him. So Journalism, I mean, I think right now he's the best 3-year-old in the country, and it's pretty amazing what he did in the Preakness Stakes. Now, coming back for the Belmont Stakes, it looks like the race didn't take too much out of him because, I mean, watching his gallops, and he did post a workout last Saturday, which was really good. I mean, he looks like one of these horses that the 3 races in 5 weeks should be no problem for him. I mean, he did run 3 races in a 7-week span during his 2-year-old campaign. So I don't think the short campaign is affecting him all that too much. But Journalism, as long as he gets a good pace to chase, and Alberta Rispoli keeps him out in the clear, the 7 post should help him this time. He's not going to be trapped inside, I wouldn't think. So as long as he gets a good trip and he gets a good run, I think Journalism definitely has a big chance to win again on Saturday.
Yeah, I think Journalism has a great shot too. And last but not least, our Heart of Honor, who we saw in the Derby, opened at 30-1 on the morning line, all the way down to 18-1. Jamie Osborne's the trainer. What chance do you give Heart of Honor on Saturday?
So Heart of Honor is coming off of a fifth-place finish on the Preakness Stakes at Pimlico. And this horse, in a short period of time, he's come up to Saratoga. It looks like he's been galloping pretty well and doing pretty well for himself. But I just, 3 weeks ago, he really wasn't in the picture all that much. He did get a good pace to chase and still really couldn't close or get up amongst the leaders at the end. But for me at least, I just find it pretty hard to believe that in the 3 week span, this horse is suddenly going to find it and turn it around, especially against this quality of a field and with much more fresher horses in here. So Heart of Honor, he's 31 on the morning line. He's probably going to go off around 18-20-1. But I think it's going to be tough sledding for him on Saturday. I'll be very, very surprised if he wins.
Yeah, I'd be somewhat surprised if Heart of Honor won as well. All right, our favorite part, the win, place, and show picks. I'm going to give the honors to you. Who's your pick to win the 2025 Belmont Stakes?
So for my win pick, I'm going to go with the 6 Baeza. I just think right now he's in really good form. I love the way he was finishing in the Kentucky Derby. I just think that right now, Flavian Pratt is going to be aboard him, should get a good pace to chase. And I think the 1.25 miles is going to be much beneficial to him. A shorter field as well, so I'll take Baeza for the win.
Okay, I'm going to go with Journalism. Journalism just shot up to 9-5. It was 6-5 earlier, but I'm going to go with Journalism for the win. I know Journalism, some say, was lucky to win the Preakness, but Journalism is a good horse and has a good record, so I really believe in Journalism. What about your place pick?
So my place pick, I will go with Journalism. Like I said, I think that Preakness was one of the wildest races I've seen a horse run, and the fact he was still able to get up and win was insanely impressive on his part. But third race in 5 weeks, Journalism should be right there again. Is he going to work out the good trip? Will the 3 races, like I said, 3 races in 5 weeks, will it take too much out of him? I'm not sure. He doesn't seem like it, but I think he'll be there at the end as well.
All right, my place pick, I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball. I'm going to go with Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez is healthy, and I think that Bafford's going to have him ready to go. I'm going to go with a little bit of a curveball here with Rodriguez, and plus the pace of the track. I think Rodriguez has a shot. And what about the show pick?
For my show pick, I'm going to go with Sovereignty. I think if it does rain on Saturday, I think it definitely moves him up. I know obviously there are some fresher horses in here with him, but I do worry about him closing from far back, and potentially if it does turn out to be a speed favoring track. So Sovereignty could be up against Saturday, but Junior Alvarado, I think it's one of the most underrated riders in the country. He's going to know what to do with him, but I'll go Sovereignty for third.
I'm also going with Sovereignty for the show. Won the Derby, sat the Preakness. I think that Sovereignty with the potential rain could move him up as well. All right, who do you like in undercard races on Saturday, or even today for that matter?
Well, today's race, you got the Grade 1 Acorn Stakes, $500,000 at Saratoga. You got the Kentucky Oaks winner, Good Cheer, in there. She's 7 for 7, undefeated. I think she's definitely got a great chance of winning again today. If there is a horse I like for an upset, maybe the number 3, Bacara, who could take the field wire to wire if she gets away from a good gate break. So, that's the Grade 1 Acorn. Tomorrow, you also got the Grade 1 Metropolitan Handicap, where it's only a field of 5, but you got 4 of the 5 in there. I think got really good chances of winning. The odds-on favorite is last year's Kentucky Derby favorite, Fierceness, for trainer Todd Pletcher. Fierceness is coming off of a win in the Grade 2 Ali Sheba back on Kentucky Oaks Day back in early May. He was second in the Breeders' Cup Classic last year, and after the Kentucky Derby, ran really good races. He won the Travers Stakes, the Grade 1 Travers, last August up at Saratoga. He's 3 for 3 at Saratoga. The one post should be beneficial to him. Right alongside of him, you got the 2023 Breeders' Cup Classic winner, White Abario, for trainer Sappy Joseph Jr. He's in really good form at age 6, 2 for 2 this year. Should be a good showdown between those two. Also on the other card, you got the Grade 1 Woody Stevens, in which you got 2 horses coming back from the Kentucky Derby to run in this spot. The 5 Citizen Bull for trainer Bob Baffert should show some more speed with a cutback in distance. I think he's got a good chance in there. But also you got the 9 Neo Equos for trainer Sappy Joseph Jr. Both those horses were 1-2, pretty much 3/4 of the way around in the Derby before fading at the end. But those 2 horses are going to be in there. I do like the number 8 Gunmetal for trainer Brad Cox at 8-1 in the morning line. I think with a fast pace, he should be a closer that gets up at the end. And finally, you also got the Grade 1 Manhattan Stakes, race 12, the race before the Belmont, which you got a 12-1 shot on the morning line named Carson's Run for trainer Miguel Clement, who I think has got a big chance in this race. Second race off the layoff. He is a Grade 1 winner at Saratoga. I think he should be a much shorter price than the 12-1 odds. I think he's got a big chance in there with some speed sign on. So a really good undercard, and almost like a mini Breeders' Cup. There's a lot of really good races on Saturday, and today for that matter as well.
Yeah, a lot of good races this time at Belmont for sure. Okay, so the NBA Finals started last night, and the Pacers did it again. They won another crazy game. Tyrese Halliburton with the pull-up to give the Pacers their only lead of the game that only lasted for literally 0.3 seconds. Who was your pick in the series, and did it shock you that Indiana went in there and won Game 1?
Well, first off, Indiana has done some kind of voodoo magic before this playoff start, because it feels like every series they've hit some kind of game winner or are coming back from 20 down to win one of these games. It's insane what's going on with the Pacers. And it's almost like Tyrese Halliburton is there again. I mean, it's just mind-boggling to me how this guy was voted the most overrated player in the NBA when this guy is hitting clutch shot after clutch shot every postseason game. It feels like it's insane. But a huge shocker last night. It was not honestly seeing Oklahoma City go up by so much at halftime. You think the game is already over, but the Pacers just have that will and fight in them to which they just don't give up. And coming back and winning that game yesterday was a massive shocker. I think it really sets a tone for the series. And now, can they come back and win this series? I'm not sure. I think Oklahoma City can still win in about 5 or 6. But really a shocker last night.
Absolutely. And I picked OKC in 6 games with the thought I could see Indiana stealing 2 games, potentially one on the road, if not both of them at Indianapolis. But they did it last night. I was like, whoa. And then, obviously, the Pacers eliminated the Knicks, which led to the firing of Tom Thibodeau. That comeback last night for Indiana made me rethink a little bit about my feelings about the Tom Thibodeau situation and why they fired him, and whether I was wrong to think how I felt. Because I had mixed feelings about the firing of Tom Thibodeau. He was a great coach for the Knicks. And then the Game 1 against Indiana happened. And then I think that had a role to do with his firing. I wasn't sure if they were actually going to fire Tom Thibodeau, but they actually did. But yeah, I have mixed feelings about the firing of Tom Thibodeau. Do you think it was a mistake by the Knicks? Because I still think it's a TBD.
Well, I was very surprised that Tom Thibodeau was fired. And I thought maybe the Knicks would give him one more year, especially with this group, because they're still relatively new together with the addition of Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges. But, excuse me. But, yeah, I was very, very surprised. And Tom Thibodeau has been probably the best Knicks head coach since Jeff Van Gundy back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I don't think it's particularly close. And it seems like they've just got better every year under Thibodeau. And a lot of these players that Thibodeau was developing, it seemingly got better when they got to the Knicks. And now they're going to fire him after their first Eastern Conference Finals appearance in 25 years. I think it was insane to me. I thought they would at least give him one more year. I was very, very surprised that he was fired.
I was somewhat surprised he was fired. If Game 1 didn't happen the way it did, I would have been stunned like the rest of the media. but this kind of does give me like the same feeling about Joe Girardi back in 2017 in a weird way. Remember the Yankees had that weird Game 2 loss against Cleveland? They blew a 4-run lead, and everyone was saying, "Oh, fire Girardi, fire Girardi." They make the
I remember that.
And then they make the ALCS. They come back from 2-0 down, and then they lose to the Astros, and then they get rid of Girardi. I kind of had the same feeling when they got rid of Girardi, but I felt like Tom Thibodeau deserved to stay one more year, more so than Joe Girardi did at the time, if that makes sense. So the Thibodeau firing caught me somewhat off guard, but at the same time, I don't think it was fair.
Well, I mean, yes, I don't think it was fair to Thibodeau because, like I said, it feels like the team has just progressed and gotten better with every year under Thibodeau, especially the last 3 years when Jalen Brunson came in. But
right.
I mean, now the question they face is, who are you exactly going to bring in that's going to take this group to the next level? Because obviously, coming off of a loss in the Eastern Conference Finals, the next step is to get to the finals.
Right.
And which coach out there is going to take that next step? I mean, because my original thinking when they fired him was, okay, maybe they're going to go after someone like Michael Malone, because he's as a veteran coach, as a guy who's won a championship before, a New York guy. Maybe that could have been the play, but I know I've seen a lot of reports about Johnny Bryant, a former assistant, could possibly be a name to watch. But that's the biggest thing. I don't think they would have fired Thibodeau unless they have a certain name in mind to take that next step. So it'll certainly be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think Johnny Bryant does make a lot of sense, and they fired Thibodeau like hours after it was announced that Bryant and Jordan Ott were the finalists for the Suns job, and Ott got the Suns job. So I have a feeling it's going to be Johnny Bryant. I'd be fine if they hired him, former Knick assistant, and was an assistant under Kenny Atkinson with Cleveland. And I'm a big Kenny Atkinson fan, as you know. So it's going to be interesting. And I also would be on board with Jeff Van Gundy, who was an ex-Knicks coach and did a great job this year with Ty Lue on the Clippers staff, and in the year before with Joe Mazzulla in Boston. So I think his stock is up as well in terms of a coaching candidate. So it's very fascinating for sure whether or who the Knicks are going to hire. So, Jeff, it was a pleasure to have you on as always. And Belmont's when at the end of the month? End of July, right?
Well, the Belmont's on Saturday. I think you're talking about the Haskell.
I'm sorry, the Haskell. Yeah.
Yeah, the Haskell this year, I gotta double check that. I believe it's July 20th, or I gotta double check
19th?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, July 19th is the Haskell at Monmouth Park this year. Right now, not sure yet exactly who's going to show up. The one name I did hear is the Gosker, the Preakness runner-up, could make his next start in the Haskell. So we could see some horses from the Belmont on tomorrow could run back in the Haskell. But obviously we'll see as we get closer to it.
Yes, that's true. And the Belmont's now on Fox, right? Or is that an every other year thing?
Yes. The Belmont is on Fox this year. They got many hours of coverage today and tomorrow on Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, and on the regular Fox channel. So hopefully they do a good job up there, and it should be fun.
All right, we'll try to get you on for the Haskell next month, if not sooner. So enjoy, and we'll see how it goes with the Belmont.
All right, thanks for having me on, Madison. Good to talk to you.
Good talking to you.